Hi, this is Ken Womack, and you're listening to the Two Legs Podcast, your home away from home when it comes to all of your Paul McCartney needs.
Greetings, everyone, and welcome to episode 280 of Two Legs, a Paul McCartney podcast, a show that's myself, Tom Hunyadi, and my co-host, Annie Nichols. We host almost every week, and we have a lot of fun just talking all Paul all the time. As I said, I'm Tom Hunyadi, one of your two co-hosts, and I'm joined by my partner in crime, my backwards traveler. He is Andy Nichols. Andy, my friend. Another week of getting stuff that we still need in our collections, and it's just ongoing. It never stops.
It never stops. Hello, Thomas. Good afternoon, and happy to be back here to do another episode with you today here on Two Legs. Yeah, we're always collecting. It's the illness that never stops. It
never stops.
It never stops.
See things that we still need. There's still a drive, a still want to get these items. And you've scored a new item that I'm really excited to get a closer look at, because I've seen that on eBay myself. And but yes, this is the Once Upon a Long Ago display piece promoting the single at the time. And there you go. It's a beautiful piece.
It's been very good shape, packaged very well from the UK. Came in 5 days. It's got a little bit of a corner bend here, like not bend, right, but like a little bit of a crease. But that is the only blemish on this entire piece, and shipped and packaged with care, as the song says. So, and it's very, very, very happy with it.
Yes.
Now I got it. Now I have to get it to stay.
Easy.
Yeah, you find yourself getting creative with new ways to maximize your space. I mean, Fest comes, I get the tug of war thing. We find a spot for that. We revamp things. I see you've cleaned up. You've made some changes in your background to make it a little more McCartney-ified. I see that.
We're getting some more. We can make some wall space back there. We're gonna be bringing some stuff from storage. We got the vinyl.
You've got the crate represented. You've got all the best.
Yes.
You've got the trap. You've got the suitcase. I've got another incomplete suitcase still for sale, people. If you want one, I am the owner of not the one but two. You see one above me right there, but there's another one in here.
When I sent you and David the picture of when I got all the records and set up and or whatever, it's like so.
Oh, this was good.
Yeah. You had to make sure to tell me that I only had the one copy of London Town, which, I knew that. And, I knew that I had to remedy that. And then as soon as you made that comment, I was just eBay, boom, done. And then there you go. There's number 2, London Town, the Japanese pressing. And, very happy to have that.
I'm glad you got a copy, but I'm still puzzled that the fact when I visited you in person for the first time in 2021, it was in your local record store and you could have snapped it up anytime.
Yeah, anytime. But at that point in time, I wasn't really looking for multiple copies of
albums. Okay, I see.
Except for McCartney 3, obviously.
Well, that was different, but I can see
at that point in time.
At that point in time, you weren't into getting other pressings and from other countries.
Well, now I'm like 15 copies deep in Band on the Run, and
I heard that.
And there's others with still more to get. So it's exactly. And then I also have that want that I do want to be able to say that I have every picture sleeve 45 from around the world from Paul, and that's been a chore. Let me tell you. But I'm happy about it. I love this stuff, and like you, Andy, I mean, it's just like we see it, and we have that crave for it, and it's just like done, sold. Let's get it.
So with a heaping of blame on a certain somebody that lives in Australia who was really good. It was really good at convincing us to get things, I must say.
Right.
You know who you are.
Yes. Thank you. We've talked about these on our separate live streams, but we haven't talked about these news items together. So, and we'll get our thoughts on these. But the book, the Wings book, okay. We're very excited about this coming out in November. This looks like what Wingspan should have been all along. But we finally getting a Wings book from Paul with the other members of Wings with their archived comments. And there was as well, which I think this is going to be. It's more archived comments from Paul, kind of like the McCartney legacy. But
yes.
we've now had the covers. And then like the lyrics book, we have two different covers. And then what we're showing first, this is the US cover, right? So,
and I have to say, it's growing on me ever so slightly. When I first saw it, I thought it was like a bad Nickelodeon cartoon, you know?
Right.
But you've got the Wings logo, the embossed thing going on. I could kind of get behind it a little bit.
I mean, I like the bus in there. I like it as it's like a road thing. It's the touring aspect of it. You got the discography in there with Wildlife, Red Rose Speedway, Band on the Run, Venus and Mars in there. I like the little shamrocks for the
Give Iron back to the Irish.
Right.
And if anybody wants to dispute that Wings is his own band, look no further than the cover of this book, okay?
Right.
The words Paul McCartney are above the Wings logo. End of discussion. Over.
Right.
Done. Continue.
So, obviously now we're curious if there's a flip side to this. Are we going to be seeing the other albums, kind of like the same art piece on the back?
Yeah.
Maybe showing Back to the Egg, A London Town, Wings at the Speed of Sound. We'll see. So that's the U.S. Copy. Now we got something a little bit more traditional, a group photo of the band Wings again with Paul McCartney. But let's face it. I mean, it was Paul McCartney and Wings first. Well, second, I should say. But yeah. I mean, it's still Paul McCartney and Wings. So yes, I mean, you can do that whole band aspect that you just did, but again, Paul McCartney is the main focus of the band. But what do you guys think? What do you think of these two covers? Obviously you got the first, Mach 1 of Wings here in this, on the cover here. On the back, will they have the last incarnation of Wings on the back?
How do you choose which lineup to feature if you're going to put the band on there? He chooses which you gotta, you can understand. Okay, let's put the second incarnation of Wings up there. Because
true. Right.
It's really the second one because Henry joined after Wildlife. So it's Wings Mark II. You would think that maybe it would be the iconic lineup of 75, 76, but be very interested to see how well each era of Wings is represented in this book. Is the meat and potatoes going to be, the halcyon days years of Jimmy McCulloch and Joe English and Venus and Mars and Speed of Sound, or is there going to be equal real estate for Lawrence Juber and Steve Holley as well?
Right.
So
because if you watch the trailer for the book, it does list every member of Wings.
Yes, it does.
That's going to be represented in this book, and it's going to be really interesting, my friend, to see what quotes they take. Because I mean, if you've read your McCartney Legacy Volume 1 and 2, there's some very juicy quotes from people, including Paul. In there. So again, that's going to be November. Let us know in the comment section what you think of that. Next up, Babs is doing a new duets album. Barbra Streisand, right?
Babs.
She's got some very interesting people she's going to be doing duets with, including Bob Dylan and our friend Paul McCartney. And I gotta tell you, when I first heard the song that they're going to do on that album, I automatically just cringed and was just like, WTF. I've never been the biggest fan of My Valentine. Andy, I don't think you've ever been the biggest fan of My Valentine either.
Nope.
But you can understand maybe why they picked that song to do, but I don't know the reasoning why they picked the song. Maybe if anybody gets the CD and reads the booklet, maybe they talk about why they picked that song to do. But I was definitely underwhelmed when I read the news about that pick.
Yeah, I mean, if you're gonna pick another, do we have to cover My Valentine again? Like that song has so much real estate. I mean, come on, it's got a good shelf life. They could have sang something else, but hey, if that's what she wanted to do, that's what she's gonna do.
Lastly, just getting this yesterday as we were recording this on Wednesday, High in the Clouds, finally a poster. We'll believe it when we actually see it. I do believe this was a Netflix produced film, and coming 2027, which is still, depending on when it comes out, still 2 years away. Obviously, animated films do take a while to film. A very interesting cast of voice actors there. Idris Elba is very, very well-known, popular actor. Musicians, including Celine Dion, Lionel Richie, and Ringo Starr is in there as well. That Patel, the top billing guy, I forgot how to pronounce his name. He was the lead actor in the Yesterday film from 2019.
Oh, okay, that was him. Okay.
Yeah. So again, interesting cast. Jimmy Fallon as well. But is there going to be a soundtrack to this? This is going to be interesting. I mean, when we learned in 2018, when while Paul was doing releasing Egypt Station, there was word that he was doing a duet with Lady Gaga. I think for High in the Clouds. So it's going to be interesting to see if we see that. Is Lionel Richie going to sing a song for the song? Is the Celine Dion singing a song for the film? So we'll find out in 2027, I guess. So.
Maybe, but I have really no interest in this film at all. Let me hear the music. It's been talked about to death. Enough about High in the Clouds. Just let me know when it's out. I'll go watch it once. If it's got some good music and a good soundtrack, I'll buy it. Other than that, we'll judge it when it's here. Listen, Paul has had a long-established career and working with Jeff Dunbar, which he's done a lot.
Yes.
And he's obviously involved in this too. It's just been long, and it's been talked about forever. So let's just wait for it to come out. I'm glad that there's a poster. But enough about High in the Clouds. I mean, come on. Okay, great. It's coming out in 2 years. We got a lot of ground to cover between now and 2027. Releases, books, tours, and a new album. Like, we'll get to it when we get to it.
Move on. Topic of the day or week, I should say. Desert Island Discs on January 1982. Paul does, and this is one of his first public appearances since Lennon's death. Mm-hmm. I think maybe the first interview or program he does after Lennon's death. And we thought maybe we'll do our own Desert Island disc here. Now, in that version, Paul named 8 tracks that he would take with him, and a book, right, and a luxury item.
Indeed.
So we thought what we would do is we kind of would like do a mesh of 10 songs, 5 that we would take from Paul, and then 5 we would take from other artists that we love, which I think is going to be fun, and hopefully we'll get people talking. And I would love to see other people's tracks that they would take. We also got a book, and we also got an item, luxury item, as they called it on the in the program. So Andy, you've got your top 5, Paul, your top 5 other
people that have followed our show. When they hear our choices, there'll probably be no surprise. There's going to be some top award-winning songs here because it's Desert Island Discs. Now, Paul actually chose 8 songs, and if you've never seen the program, it's on YouTube. And the 8 songs that Paul picked on the 24th of January is when it was broadcast. I believe it was on BBC. 8 through 1, Symphony Number 6 in F major by Beethoven. Mm-hmm. He then famously picked Beautiful Boy by John Lennon. As you know, that's the clip we always see of Paul tearing up. Very emotional, very sad. He then picked God Only Knows by the Beach Boys from the Beach Boys' best album, Pet Sounds. Isn't that right, Joe Mayo? Then he picked What Did I Say by Ray Charles. Tutti Frutti by Little Richard, Bebop Balula by Gene Vincent, Sweet Little 16 by Chuck Berry, and his number one choice was Heartbreak Hotel by Elvis Presley. So those top 4 or 5 tracks are songs that we know Paul and John are songs. Those are artists that they just were influenced to their core, and it's no surprise that Paul's top 5 picks were vintage 1950s rock.
Right.
So we're not going to do 8. We're going to do 5. We're going to do 5 of songs of our other genres of music, of which, if you've been following this show, we've done plenty of episodes and one-off shows where we've talked about other music that we are just as passionate about, but we don't do podcasts on. If you're new to the show, be prepared to hear some interesting choices, I'm sure.
All right, so we're going to start with Paul. So for the Paul ones, you go first. For the others, I'll go first.
If I'm on an island, no technology, right? So the luxury item can't be a phone or a computer. Let's just put that caveat out there, okay? Because then if you have a phone or a computer, you have all your music anyway. So it defeats the purpose, you see. So 5 through 1, number 5 with a little luck, full version, unedited. Cannot go without that ever. Backseat of my car, surprise. Of course, that was my number 1 on my top 101 when we ranked that. Got to take that with me. Go to the 80s, take No More Lonely Nights, from Give My Regards to Broad Street. Let's go then, Once Upon a Long Ago, as you just saw, from the 80s. And I will take with me, very proudly, and I will wave that Red Rose Speedway flag, the medley. There's my 5 Paul McCartney Desert Island Discs tracks that I would be very happy with. That's all I had. I'd be very happy with those 5 tracks. 2 from the 80s and 3 from the 70s.
Yeah, I like it. Maybe not the medley so much, but we did match in one here, and I gotta say, if you're stranded on a desert island, if you expect to get off, you need a little luck, right? So you have to. So yeah, I have with a little luck on mine, and you also need a little positivity. So I had Too Much Rain on here as well, because I was trying to stay positive. We're so sad we're stuck on a desert island, or maybe we want to be there. I don't know. It just depends.
Man, you don't want to be like Wilson in Castaway. You want to be like Wilson in Castaway? Wilson, too much rain.
But then I've got Take It Away.
I knew that would be. I knew you would have that in there.
Take It Away, my favorites. Paul track. You got to take your favorite Paul track, right? And that's going to be Junior's Farm on there. And then probably what some people might call his best solo song of all time. Maybe I'm Amazed. So I got, with a little luck, Too Much Rain, Take It Away, Junior's Farm, and maybe I'm Amazed. You just want to kind of a little splash of everything for me, in my opinion. Rocker, optimism,
right? A little bit of everything. A little ballad, a little rocker, little variety.
Yeah, a little 80s, pop, thrown in there.
And if you've never seen the Desert Island Discs interview, I'll have the link to it in the description box below, and you can watch when Paul was on that. But if you've watched it, you've seen it before, no doubt.
And then obviously with the luck and Junior's Farm, it has to be the unedited versions. No radio DJ edits on here.
Absolutely. Full versions in all their glory. Absolutely.
Yes.
Let's go with your 5 non-Paul McCartney Desert Island tracks. Go ahead.
Yes. Okay. So I'm a little bit of all over the place on this one. And this is just like right now where I am right now with music. Okay. I got three male singers and I got 2 female singers in here. And number 5 is my favorite 80s track of all time, non-Beatles related, and that's Come On Eileen by Dixie Midnight Runners. I've always loved that song, and I love the album, but that's just a staple for me. I play it often and loud. 2, I'm going with The Fountain of Samacus. Again, a Genesis track that's just like an epic song that just for me has everything in it. I love Tony Banks, intro to that song, Steve Hackett's guitar playing, and then obviously Rutherford's bass playing in that song is just top-notch bass playing, and then obviously Gabriel singing that track is just amazing. I have become a super huge Van Morrison fan of late. I've just been diving into his catalog, especially his 70s. He did put out an album called Vita and Fleece. I think it was 74. And he's got this song, that's the last track on the album, and it's called County Fair. If you ever want to listen to a song that just puts you in the now while you're listening to the song, he just so amazingly puts you in that place, that time, sitting on the hill with the grass, the wind blowing, the stream. He just puts you in this place, and you just sit there, you listen to it, and you can't be driving while you listen to it, or you might just but if I'm like at home and I got my headphones on and I just want to relax and chill out, I put this song on, and it just puts me in that place, and it's the most amazing thing. And it's not like the most incredible song ever though, but I've never had a song that just puts me there, you know what I mean? The place that he's singing about. I mean, he sings it so well. So that's number 3. Okay. My 2 favorite female singers of all time. I have a song on here. Okay. No surprise. ONJ is on my list.
Oh, no surprise there.
No surprise there. Okay. And it's one of the songs that she does for the 1980 terrible, one of the worst movies of all time, Xanadu. But great soundtrack nonetheless. But the song called Magic, one of my favorites. And then who I think is the greatest female singer of all time, Roberta Flack. And her song Killing Me Softly. I think it's 74. I think she won the Grammy for Song of the Year or something like that for this song. That would be my number 1. Forget that Fuji's version. You don't need that.
No, that was good though too for the day. But the OG from Roberta Flack is the best one you need. That's it. That's the one you need.
Which I don't even think she, if I remember correctly, I don't think she was the originator of the song either. I think there was one more person that did the song. It was either this one or the first time I ever saw your face. I can't remember, but I think there's somebody did the song before her. But it's fantastic. Killing Me Softly. So Come On Eileen, The Fountain of Samacus, which that's how I pronounce it. County Fair from Van Morrison, Magic, ONJ, and then Killing Me Softly by Roberta Flack.
Good choices. Really nice to dive into other genres of music. I mean, everybody who watches and listens to our podcast thinks that we're just Beatle people 24/7. We're not.
Yeah. Right.
Trust me, we're not. I'm not. You get to have a healthy relationship with our shared passion of Paul by switching off and going into this other music. I know I certainly do. There's you take a few weeks, a few months to listen to another artist, and then a few months later you go back. That's why the Beatles music or Paul music to me never gets old, because I'm able to take breaks from it throughout the course of the year.
So Andy, before we get to your 5, we should take a second to talk about Patreon and how you can join.
Indeed. We've been Patreon for a few months now, and it's been a really fun way to connect with our fans, because we're all fans at the end of the day, and talk to them, off when we're not on YouTube or live or whatever. We've got 3 tiers, okay? Mm-hmm. 2 Legs Over Europe, which is early access, $5 a month. The second tier is 2 Legs Over America. That's community. That, in addition to everything else, you also get access to our Discord server. You can chat with myself or Tom and our Patreon community anytime on Discord. It's growing a lot. We have a lot, probably about, 15 to 16 people on there as well. Plus, you get an invite to the monthly listening parties on Discord, which we have done 2 so far. In March, we did Venus and Mars. And just a couple weeks ago, we did Return to Pepperland, where we all just go through a listening party, and we're all connected on the app listening to this music, which is fantastic. And the third one is the 2 Legs Over the World, and that is $15 a month. That's in addition to everything else. You can also send in questions for future topics for our show, questions for future guests we have on the show, and also just have a chat with me and Tom whenever you want to over a Zoom call like this as well. So those are the 3 tiers of Patreon, and I'd like to thank everybody that's been on there. Yes. Since we started this back in February. It's been fantastic and a great way to connect with everybody in the Paul and Beatles community.
Thank you, Andy.
My 5. You'll know some of these.
I know, but I'm just trying. I'm just curious on how prog heavy it's going to be.
A little bit, not total.
Okay.
I really hemmed and hawed about including a Beatle track in here. I really wanted to, but I did not. So for the other 5 songs, I would take with me on a desert island that I would have to actually have with me at all times. Number 5 would be Elton John's "Funeral for a Friend," "Love Lies Bleeding" from Goodbye Yellow Brick Road. Hands down, 11-minute track, awesome in live studio, great song, atmospheric, dark, scary, proggy, then just rocking out balls to the wall. Love it. Number 4, I'm going to go with one track from The Who's Next, and that is "Song Is Over," the song that Zach Starkey got fired over for about 2 days and then got rehired because The Who played it for the first time ever live in 54 years.
Wow.
53 years. They had never played "Song Is Over." And then they play it. The first time they play it, Daltrey wants to fire Zach. Well, what are you talking about? So "Song Is Over" is a great track. It's the epitome of it was the idea that Townsend had when he came up with this whole idea of pure and easy, and there was one note which turned into Baba O'Reilly. So "Song Is Over" for me is number 4. Number 3, prog time. Let's jump in the prog bed, and let's go with "Close to the Edge" by Yes, the title track from 1972, all 18 minutes and 32 seconds of its glory. Jeremy P., I know that you're into that as well too. He just saw John Anderson a few weeks ago. The MVP and I will be seeing John Anderson do this in about a week's time. So yeah, 18 minutes and 30 seconds, fantastic. By Yes, and then the Genesis. We match up on Genesis and our other 5. Yeah. I took a song from 2 albums after Nursery Crime, and I went with "First of Fifth" from "Selling England by the Pound." Because
nice pick.
That's the to me the quintessential Genesis track. You've got Hackett solo, Banks opening on it, great Gabriel vocals on it. It's fantastic. So "First of Fifth" as well. And my number 1 song I would take for sure. I would take Mr. Bob Dylan's "Sad Eyed Lady of the Lowlands" from "Blonde on Blind." So,
all right.
Yeah, that would be my 5 that I would take with me on a desert island.
Would you say that that's your favorite Dylan album?
Top 3.
Okay.
Top 3 for sure.
I love "Blonde on Blonde." I think that's a fantastic album. Maybe my number 1.
Got to be, right? It's up there. It's 1 or 2.
Yeah. So in this program, he also does a book. Okay.
Yes.
I'll go first on this one. The book, I went with It, Stephen King's It.
Okay.
One, it's a massive book, and number 2, I just love the facing your fears type of storyline. You got the kid version and you got the adult version. Both battling this monster, alien, whatever you want to call it. This book is all over the place. I love it, and I chose Stephen King's It for my book.
Your book, So we're going with non-musical books here, right? We're going with non-musical books. Stephen King.
Well, you can go with any book. You can go with any book you want to. I think, in my opinion. But I've got the music. I don't necessarily need to read about the music. Right. I just want to keep me. I just want to read something that's going to keep me, enthralled, and all that.
On that similar note, I would take with me a book that probably would take a lifetime to read. It's so massive and it's so epic, and you could read it. All the time and still learn something because it's so detailed. And to me, that would be The Lord of the Rings, because that is such a mammoth classic book of all 3 books in one. Channel my inner Gandalf. Read that one over and over and over again, because the stories, once the movies came to life and brought that to it was, and there's so much in the book that didn't make it into the movies as well. So,
that's true. And if you're on the island long enough, maybe you'll be very fluent in Entish, and
maybe. What would be your luxury item?
I would still want music of any way. Even though I've got these songs, I'm going to be wanting more songs. Okay. I would take a radio. And even if I only get like one station, there'll be times where I won't want to hear these 10 songs on the island. Okay. So I would want some other kind of form of entertainment. And like, depending on where you are, you could probably pick up, this country here, that country there, this country a little bit, and just get, so much culture, from other countries, that maybe you could find fascinating. And, if the antenna's long enough, maybe you can, you can find something from somewhere else. So I'm going to pick a radio.
All right. I'm going to be a little more traditional. I'd be very happy with a little yacht that I could jump into and escape and go back to the island the island and just go around a little bit and change it up. And then this way I wouldn't be stuck on the island like Tom Hanks in Castaway. Let me get on that yacht. Let me go on there and just drift away in the ocean for a little bit. Let me read. Let me have my music, and I'll go back. The book that Paul, that he said that he would take with him, was the complete works of Rudyard Kipling. That was his choice back when he was on the show. So he went with a more of a fantasy type book too as well.
Andy, my friend, what is up with Hands Across the Water?
Well, with Hands Across the Water, before I get to that, I just want to say I had a great time last weekend seeing Mr. Jeff Slayton's concert at the Cafe Wah. His band made the debut at the Cafe Wah, the legendary music venue in Greenwich Village, where Bob Dylan first played in 1961. His band, and he invited me and my family and the MVP, and we had a great time there. Picked up his book, which is called Guitar Earl Slick, that he wrote with Earl Slick, who played on Double Fantasy, and also notably David Bowie. Got this book on Sunday. Here we are. It's 4 days later. I'm halfway through it. I mean, it's a tremendous book. What a life Earl Slick has led. Talk about a rock and roll lifestyle, and learning so much more about David Bowie. John Lennon is just a fraction of his career, just a couple months. But his work with Bowie is remarkable, and some great stories. And Jeff was great to talk to about a lot of the stuff at the gig, and definitely we'll go see him again. He did tell me in person that he did not think Ram was a great album. Jeff always loves to just stir the pot, and we'll have him on again. As we all told him sitting there, we said, Jeff, good luck to the gig, but we respectfully disagree. So he will be a future guest on Two Legs at some point again. And probably Hands Across the Water. Hands Across the Water, we have done 3 episodes so far in our short time, which is fantastic. Feedback has been tremendous because it's a 3-person show representing 3 different generations with Kyle, myself, and Tony. So we just recorded and we just dropped our most recent episode, which we called The Beatles Battle of 1971. Who had the best year? Was it John with Imagine? Was it Paul with Ram and Forming Wings? Or was it George riding the success of All Things Must Pass and really solidifying his year with the concert for Bangladesh?
Yeah.
I drew George, Tony drew John, and Kyle drew Paul, and was done totally random. Tony just picked out bits of paper, and we matched up each host with a Beatle, and that's who I got. And I really wasn't too keen on drawing George, if I'm being honest with you, when we did it. But then a couple days later, when we recorded it, I had my ammo ready, and I felt like I defended George pretty well and made the case why he won 1971. So go check that episode out if you haven't seen it yet, and give our channel a like and subscribe. We were up to 350 subs already, and the comments have been great.
Excellent.
So that's been a great show, and please check us out. We've got a live show that we're doing next, because we're going to do 3 shows a month like we do with Two Legs. And take one week off. But this week, we're actually going to go live. So we're going to go live on Monday. That is the 12th of May at 6 p.m. our time, New York time. So tune into our channel for a live episode of Hands Across the Water coming up this Monday.
That's fantastic. I'll do my best to be there as well and help support you guys, because it's a great show. You, Kyle, Tone, there's some really good chemistry there. It's a very enjoyable show. So yes, please, everybody, please check out the show and subscribe.
Thank you.
Because you know what? There's plenty of room for great content out there on the YouTube platform. And Andy, Tone, and Kyle, they do a great job. So check it out. Anyways, so for if you guys want to reach out to us, you want to find us on social media, you can find us on X, you can find us on Instagram, you can find us on Facebook at Two Legs Podcast. If you want to reach out and shoot us an email, and you want to tell us anything or send us a suggestion for a show, you can at twolegspodcast@gmail.com. We've gotten a lot of great ideas from many fans out there. So if you got a thought, you got an idea for a show, email us. We've had friends like Nick Sayette, fan of the show. He gave us a great line of questions regarding collecting. That was a lot of fun to do. Actually, it was a fan suggestion to do the White Album show, right? So when we did our White Album show, that was a lot of fun, and we put a lot of thought into that one. So we had a great time in there. So we do take fans' suggestions.
That show did very well for us.
The show did
White
fantastic.
Album. Yeah, especially on the audio end. 4,000 downloads.
Over 4,000 downloads. Yeah, so thank you everybody for checking that one out. So again, we love having you guys around. We love your questions. We love your thoughts. We love your emails. All the comments for each individual episode have been fantastic. You can check out Andy live on Sundays, right? Andy goes live between 11 and 12 or so. You stick on for a couple hours. Then midweek on Wednesdays, I go live for hour and a half, 2 hours ourselves. So we've got plenty of stuff here for you guys to interact with us. You guys always give us great questions and comments during our live shows. So please keep those coming. And we will see you guys next week. So for Andy Nichols, I'm Tom Hanyadi saying have a great day and a beautiful night. Take care, everyone.